everyone, my name is Nicole Sturfy and I'm going to be talking about binge eating disorder. On the screen, I have an overview of the DSM-5 condition, binge eating. I've listed A through E on the Diagnostic Criteria. Binge eating disorder, is known as BED, is a severe, life-threatening, and treatable eating disorder characterized by recurrent episodes of eating large quantities of food, often very quickly and to the point of discomfort, a feeling of a loss of control during the binge, and experiencing shame, distress, or guilt afterwards, and not regularly using unhealthy compensatory measures, example like purging, to counter the binge eating. It is the most common eating disorder in the United States. Binge eating disorder is one of the newest eating disorders formally recognized in the DSM-5. Before the most recent revision in 2013, binge eating disorder was listed as a subtype of EDNOS, now referred to as OSFED. The change is important because some insurance companies will not cover eating disorder treatment without a DSM-5 diagnosis. While learning about binge eating disorder, I looked up the diagnostic criteria, and it talks about the recurrent episodes of binge eating, eating in a discrete period of time within any 2-hour period, any amount of food that is definitely larger than what most people would eat in a similar period of time under similar circumstances. The binge eating episodes are associated with 3 or more of the following. So to diagnose someone with binge eating, their binge eating episodes have to have 3 or more of the following within the criteria. The binge eating occurs on average at least once a week for 3 months, so that is definitely important to keep in mind, the time occurrence. And it also describes the warning signs and symptoms of binge eating disorder is evidence of binge eating disorder, including disappearance of large amount of foods in short periods of time or lots of empty wrappers and containers indicating consumption of large amounts of food. I also was researching appears uncomfortable eating around others, any new practice with food or fade diets, including cutting out entire food groups. Example, no sugar, no carbs, no dairy, fear of eating in public or with others, steals or hoards food in strange places, creates a lifestyle schedules or rituals to make time for binge sessions, withdrawals from usual friends and activity, frequently diets. More examples are shows extreme concern with body weight and shape, frequent checking in the mirror for perceived falls and appearance, has secret reoccurring episodes of binge eating in a discrete period of time, an amount of food that is much larger than most individuals would eat, disruption in normal eating behaviors, including eating throughout the day with no planned mealtime, skipping meals, or taking small portions of food at regular meals. Also developing food rituals, eating only a particular food or food group. Example like condiments, excessive chewing, and not allowing foods to touch. More examples are eating alone out of embarrassment at the quantity of food being eaten, feelings of disgust, depression, or guilt after overeating, feelings of low self-esteem. That is some emotional and behavioral warning signs and symptoms of the binge eating disorder. I also was looking up the physical warning signs and symptoms of binge eating disorder, and that is noticeable fluctuations in weight, both up and down, stomach cramps, and other non-specific complaints like constipation, acid reflux, etc., and difficulties concentrating. After I looked up the warning signs and symptoms of binge eating disorder, I also did more research on the health consequences of binge eating disorder, and I found that health risks of binge eating disorder are most likely those associated with clinical obesity, weight stigma, and weight cycling. Most people who are labeled clinically obese do not have binge eating disorder. However, of individuals with binge eating disorder, up to 2/3 are labeled clinically obese. People who struggle with binge eating disorder tend to be of the normal or higher than average weight, though binge eating disorder can be diagnosed at any weight. In my opinion, having an eating disorder isn't a sign of a weakness or a character flaw, and it's not something you can overcome with just willpower. Just like anything else, many people struggle with eating disorders for a long time. Some people try to keep it a secret or deny that they have a problem. In most cases, that person will need treatment to get better. Just like any other diagnosis, mental disorder, sickness, disease. If you have a binge eating disorder, treatment can prevent health problems, help you feel better about yourself, and improve the quality of your life. As many people might say, what causes binge eating disorder? Experts are not sure what causes binge eating disorder, but it seems to run in families as their research is still being concluded. Cultural attitudes about body shape and weight might also play a role. Anxiety, depression, or stress can cause people to binge eat as well. And yes, that is my overview of the DSM-5 condition, binge eating. Thank you.